I can't lie, I'm struggling a little bit right now because I just got my second dose of the vaccine. So I got a bit of a headache. My body's aching. I got some chills wrapped up in this jacket. And yet, the worst disease right now that is afflicting me is being the Arsenal fan. What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Pitchside with Parker. Again, apologies for the lack of energy probably right now that you're seeing compared to usual. Might not get a video tomorrow like I usually do on Fridays, but I did want to at least get this review out. Game just ended. Arsenal versus Villarreal. 2-1 Villarreal in the first leg at the Estadio de la Ceramica. This was a game that was going horribly wrong for Arsenal, and they did manage to turn it around slightly in the second half, but overall, still a very bad day in general. Conceding in the first 5 minutes is never ideal, but considering the position that Arsenal did find themselves in, down 2-0 at halftime, go down to 10 men early in the second half on a pretty questionable decision from the referee for Ceballos' second yellow, to at least claw a goal back and also force Villarreal to get a red card, definitely could have ended a lot worse. So at least Arsenal have stayed in the tie. I think if they had gone 3-0 down, it would have been too big of a mountain to climb. But I'm not happy. And the problem is that we were in that position in the first place, to be down 2-0, down to 10 men, due to a combination of factors. So really, let's just run through them. Let's go through the game and let's run through them. To start with, we have the lineup. Mikel Arteta apparently has been watching Manchester City play in the Champions League because he decided to not put an actual striker on the field, despite the fact that Aubameyang, Martinelli, and Nketiah were all on the bench. Two of those three ended up coming on in the game, so it's not like there was a supreme lack of fitness. But Arteta seemed to have faith that he could hold it down using Smith Rowe as the false nine, and yeah, it didn't work at all for Arsenal. Smith Rowe definitely looked uncomfortable, and I think we also missed his qualities that he brings, whether he's playing left wing or playing in the number 10. It was just very disjointed for Arsenal, and this was the biggest issue I had with the performance in the first half, aside from the goals that they conceded, was that Arsenal did not have any fluidity. They did not seek to hold on to the ball. It was all counter, counter, counter. It was very impatient. It was a very immature performance, in my opinion, from Arsenal. And to me, a lot of that goes on to the coach, because if you are changing system, at that point, I'm not going to have such high expectations of the players to be completely assured in their exact role and their exact positioning and to knock the ball around perfectly. As a manager, I think you should only be making that kind of decision if you're sure that the team has worked on it and you're sure that it's going to work. To do it in the semifinals of the Europa League, I think that that's pretty inexcusable from Arteta personally. Again, considering that there were options on the bench that could have allowed him to play a more standard formation that the team is used to. Absolutely no connectivity between the players, no possession. Ceballos, who ended up getting sent off, was terrible throughout the game. Look, I'm not a big fan of him personally, but at this point, surely the people outside of people like me who have agendas, surely everybody else is starting to see how much of a fraud this guy is. Like, his decision making is just awful. He gives the ball away nonstop. He slows the game down more than he speeds it up, which is the exact opposite of what you should do as a central midfielder. And I know that the second yellow was very harsh on him. I don't think he deserved to be sent off. It was a complete accident, just a mistiming type of thing. But Ceballos, if you didn't get breezed past by Tottenham center back reject Juan Foyth in the first half and had to bring him down, this would not have been a problem. You could have dealt with a yellow card in the second half and still been on the field. You put yourself in that position, and I'm not letting you off the hook for it just because it was a bad call, which it was. The ref, by the way, on the day was terrible. Arsenal's penalty they scored in the second half did not deserve it. But shout out to Saka for learning how to be a scumbag, because that's actually something I pointed out a few months ago that I kind of want him to learn, because he's just a little bit too pure sometimes. And I appreciated that in a moment of desperation for Arsenal, he was willing to go down. and win them the penalty. But let's get back to the performances, because Ceballos was not the only bad player in the midfield. I love Thomas Partey. I rate him highly, but he's been very poor recently. And once again in this game, he was a letdown. Also, bad decision making. Also, not being able to keep the ball. Bad giveaways. Diving in when he didn't have to. And it was for Villarreal's second goal that Partey was the person to blame, because he lost his man at the back post, Raul Albiol. It was flicked on from Gerard Moreno, and because Partey was sleeping back there, it was a free goal for Albiol. Inexcusable, in my opinion, from Thomas Partey. So I thought he had a poor game as well. All around, Arsenal just lacked a great deal of control, and I am crying out for a midfielder who is just calm and can set the tempo of the game. I mean, God, playing against Villarreal, you get flashbacks of Santi Cazorla and what he did for this team, the role that he could play. We've gone so far away from that. I miss Santi dearly. And then you got Coquelin coming on in the second half just to rub salt in the wound, doing no-look passes, making Arsenal just, they looked like training cones sometimes out there. It was pathetic. It really was. And sadly, this has been a pattern for Arsenal, especially in the Europa League. Their first leg performances genuinely have been dreadful. It's like they require this kick up the butt to actually come out with effort and play well in the second leg or the second half or whatever the case may be. I'm tired of it, man. That's not how you win competitions. It can get you far enough, but Villarreal's the best team we've played so far, and it's just not going to cut it against them. Now they have a 2-1 lead headed to the Emirates. The away goal was big for Arsenal at the end, certainly was, but they've dug themselves a hole. Man, we're going to have to pray for Aubameyang to be back so that Arsenal can actually play with a striker. And, I mean, we're going to have to pray for, I don't know, a good El Neni performance maybe, or move Xhaka back into the midfield and put Cedric at left back, because that was another decision that bothered me today from Mikel Arteta. I said in my preview, Chukwueze is going to cause a lot of problems on the right. You need somebody with more pace. And what happened on the first goal? 5 minutes into the game, Chukwueze is taking on Xhaka. Ceballos comes to help. Neither of them are able to deal with it, and it falls to Trigueros, who's able to finish. It was not, I would say, a mistake from either of them individually, but it was a case of simply being overrun, even though it was a 1v2 situation for Chukwueze. And we saw in the second half, Chukwueze's influence really grew, and he started to pick apart the defense and causing multiple Arsenal players to come over, and then he could pass it back inside. They could create chances. It was a real problem for Arsenal, and that needs to be fixed up in the second leg as well. I say just move Xhaka back to midfield with Ceballos out for the second leg and take your chances with Cedric at left back, because what we had today, the entire formation, the whole field, it just wasn't working. And that reflects very poorly on Arteta. So, Mikel, you've got 90 minutes to turn this around next Thursday, or a lot of people are going to be calling for your head. I'm not one to be up in arms and make a big deal out of it and try to cause a huge fuss. But if you were to ask me right now, do I think he should still be in a job if we lose this tie? I'm going to say no. But hey, pull the goal back. Shout out to Pepe. They did let him cook today. And I will say Pepe was the best player in an Arsenal shirt for me. He tucked away the penalty nicely. He was one of the only people causing problems. So shout out to him, and hopefully he brings it in the second leg as well. But Arsenal right now are seriously facing the possibility of going out to none other than Unai Emery. That's going to be all for me. I need to crawl up in bed. But thanks for checking out this video. Really appreciate y'all. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make a lot of Arsenal content, a lot of other content as well. So just click around the channel. I'm sure you'll find something you like. But that's going to be all for me for this one. Thanks for checking it out, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.